Let's talk 6 months post-op. Let's talk about the fact that this is so fast in so many ways. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, Mitchell here, Mitchell in Minnesota. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today with my 6-month post-op revision surgery from lap band 2 gastric bypass, RNY. I had surgery August 7th, 2018 at St. Joseph's Hospital in St. Paul, Minnesota. My surgeon was Dr. Jeffrey Fazan. My highest weight for the surgery is 273 pounds. My day of surgery weight was 260 pounds. Last week I came to you at 221 pounds, somewhere around there. I can't remember off the top of my head. And today I am 219 pounds. Or at least this morning I was before I got some food and water in me. So I officially, even if it creeps back into 220, I have moved another pound down. So I am so thankful for that. And finally in the 2 teens, which just means to me that, okay, we're still moving forward, we're doing it. So I spent way too long in the 20s, like literally, I think like November, or not even the high 20s, like to 225 and lower. I spent a couple months in the 220s. So it's all a matter of keeping it moving, being proactive, and being on it, which is the hardest part. Oh my gosh, it is the hardest part, I tell you. But those of you who've had this surgery, you know it. I've got my notes on my other phone here, my work phone. So I have lost 54 pounds. So I'm 54% of my goal. And while I'm not going to change my ultimate goal of the 100-pound loss, I do want to kind of talk about what my doctor had said, because in my plan, my surgery bariatric plan, I have my nutritionist, I have my surgeon, and then I have my bariatric doctor, who I see regularly. So Dr. Twineman is my bariatric doctor. He's the one that I met with first and foremost for anything. Excuse me. So let's get into that. First, I do want to say I know that little Kansas Kitty, I think, is in Phoenix, somewhere in Arizona, doing a big like run marathon. Is that what runners call them? Marathon. So good luck to her. I hope everybody goes and checks out her stuff. Her Instagram has been, got a lot of good stuff on it. So let's talk about how my 6-month visit went. So it went really good. I was a little apprehensive because I felt like I should have lost more, but I feel like that's what we all feel like when we go to our visits. And in umbrella-wise, I did great. And I quote, excellent job. What my frustrations were with myself and my losing, he did address for me. And I know I've said a lot of times, oh, lap banders lose slower, but I didn't really have a reason why. So he really broke it down for me. So this is super helpful, I think, to people who have had band. I know Barb's Do-Over has had some trouble, some slow losing like myself. So if you've had the band, you lose, hopefully you lose a little bit of weight, right? But the body already knows that there is, that you've had a surgery, and your metabolism is different than a person who hasn't had a weight loss surgery. So in my situation, my lap band, I lost 120 pounds with my lap band. I got from 360, 70 down to 100 and, no, it wasn't that high. I don't know. I was in my 300s down to 170. And the band helped me keep that, but it was not healthy, which is why I got, it was not a healthy means of doing that. So that's why I got it out. So then I'm down at 170. I balloon up to 173 over the course of maybe a year and a half, after I had the saline taken out of it. And then I go through this process. So, my metabolism is all wonky, and my metabolism is going to be slower than a person who is just having this surgery fresh, either VSG, the sleeve, or RNY gastric bypass. It's the same. Which I'm glad that there's something like, he showed me studies on it. He had the paper because I had asked it in my visit questions. So we had some paperwork, and that was really helpful. And it was just good to know that, you know, I'm not necessarily being a loser. I want to be a loser. I'm not as much a loser as I want to be, and that's okay. So we went over everything, and that seemed to quell a lot of my questions. I did ask about the hunger that I've had and the fact that I don't necessarily feel restriction. I feel like other people do. And he said that, you know, can happen once in a while. And if I feel it, well, let's just kind of talk about other things first, and that'll go into that. So, we went over a lot of different things, like how I'm eating, what I'm eating, and because I showed him my Verytastic app and how I track things, and I'm getting over 100 grams of protein a day, which he said to bring it back down. And it's interesting because, remember, my nutritionist doesn't necessarily have those guidelines. I mean, she has certain guidelines, but so he's like, let's keep our protein between 60 and 80, no more than that. And if you're like, I'm starving, then call the nutritionist. And then if it still doesn't work, then then he would want to do an endoscopy and look at what's going on down there, because there is a small chance that there's some technical term for the stomach, your old stomach and your new stomach are holding on to things differently. So it screws with your weight loss. I don't necessarily think that that's it. I think lowering my protein, which is such a weird thing, like, no, you've had too much protein. Too much protein apparently can inhibit your weight loss. So today's the first day since surgery, really, that I'm not going to have a Premier Protein. If I decide to later, it would be for a snack. I'm having a decaf coffee right now, and I don't have any Gene Pro in it or anything. It is just what it is, because he wants me to get my protein from dense protein sources: chicken, eggs, fish, beef, pork, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to try that out and see how that works. It's interesting. It's very interesting to see how that will work. So I will keep you guys posted on that. But again, anybody that's had lap band or any other type of surgery, or even sleeve to RNY, a lot of people do that. When your body has that, we're slower losers, and we may not lose as much. You know, I may not get back down to 170. My doctor believes that I should lose another 20 or 30 pounds and then maybe level out by a year. So in 6 months, I'd like to lose 20 or 30 pounds, which isn't that bad now, right? Because I've already lost 54. I can lose 20 more, but then I want to keep going. He absolutely pushed on 30 minutes of exercise a day. Being an, quote unquote active person, moving around, going around the city, doing things, but get up and go hiking, go biking, find something that I like. And the thing at the gym that I like the most, I don't know why, is jogging. I don't understand it. Whatever. But that's what I'm going to kind of start focusing on again, is specifically that. What else is going on? Because this is going to be a bit of a long video, because this is a 6-month post-op video, y'all. So I bent over the table, laid back on the table, and they kind of look at your scars and kind of see what's going on. And he commented, and I've commented on it here before, how I have good genetic makeup because I'm tall. I'm between 6 foot and 6'1", and I carry most of my weight on my hips. I have very big hips. In fact, I'll tell you about that. I got measurements from my doctor. So, and I don't carry it on my stomach like I do on my hips. And I thought, cosmetically, I'm like, that's great. I'd rather carry it on my hips, which is abnormal for a man to do, but I do. But he's like, well, that, sure. But when you see like beer guts or beer bellies or whatever you want to call them, like that big tummy, that's fat that's wrapped around your heart, your liver, your intestines, your organs. You're more just predisposed to conditions. So having it on your trunk, your hips and your butt is a better thing to do. So it's funny when you're in a gastric bypass doctor's office and he says you should thank your genetics for that. And I'm like, I'm here because I don't like my genetics. So that was an interesting little tidbit. Talked about the differences between people who've had the band and people who've RNY first. Too much protein. Let's talk real quick just about my results. I don't have all of my results in. I had my blood drawn, but I I wouldn't have known this because, sorry, I'm grabbing my notes here, guys. Sorry. I wouldn't have known this because I'm not a woman, but I can probably stop taking iron supplements, excuse me, due to the fact that I'm not a woman. I don't have a period. So I was like, oh my God. My doctor was like, well, you know, it's probably, I bet your iron's going to be really high because you don't bleed once a month. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about periods. And why would I? I'm a man. I'm also married to a man. So periods aren't necessarily something that I think about. But that's an important thing. Like my iron may be really high. I don't know yet. I did get most of my results back. And the one I wanted to bring to your attention and show you guys is my B12. So it's got a yellow on one side, a yellow on the other, and that's too low or too high. And then green is in the middle. So if you can see where my little thing is, I am way high on my B12. The highest you want to be in B12 is 816, whatever that stands for, and I'm at 1039. So I think once he gets all the results in and we're talking about things like, because he messages me with other things there, I think I'm gonna space out my B12s, because unlike, I've seen a lot of them, I think VSG Joe, I can't remember what your B12 intake was like. I want to say it was a couple times a week. I take a B12 every day. So I think I'm going to pull back on that. Vitamin D, I may be able to pull back a little bit on, but I'm Caucasian and I live in a northern state, so that doesn't bode well for me. Fun fact though, when we lived in Vegas, people in Nevada and Vegas specifically have to have vitamin D supplements more than most places in the country because of the fact that they shield themselves from the sun, because it's so relentless and so crazy. So there's that. I felt good about the test results, the blood test results. I forget when you get your blood drawn, it was like 9 or 10 vials of blood. I'm like, cool, I hope I don't pass out. They did this weight measurement chart, and this is interesting, and I was embarrassed, and I wasn't going to show you guys this because it shows how deep in the hole I was at the beginning of this whole journey. I met with my bariatric doctor in April of 2018. I remember I had my surgery in August, so April, May, June, July, August. 4 months, a little over 4 months between there. So when I started, my weight was 245 in April. By the time I had got to 2 weeks before surgery, I was 273. That's about a 30-pound gain in 4 months. So that's not good. So these measurements are less than they really were. So I look at my waist, and I had measured my waist at the beginning and it was 52, but then it was 47. So now I'm down to a 42 waist. My hips at that point were a 51. At 245 and at 273, they were 55, and now I'm down to a 43. Neck is I've still got a fat neck, 15 inches around, and my BMI is about 30, which still puts me in the obese category, but we're coming down. I'm on the lower end of the obese category. I can't wait to just be overweight. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I did want to talk about a couple of my favorite things. I ordered these protein things off of, now that I'm, lowering my protein, that's going to be fun that I spent $40 on this, but I see, I do the Bariatric Pal website. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I'm sure a bunch of you are. And I ordered these because they just look super great. They're nectar, protein powders, and, I'm glad I read the directions, because this is not like you put a quarter of the packet in, which I don't know how you divvy up a quarter of the packet, but they've got so many different flavors, like fruit juice, vanilla bean, probably can't see, sorry, the lights are all janky, fuzzy navel, which that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like fuzzy things. I got 12 of these. Crystal Sky. So I may do a giveaway with some of these. Let me guys know if you would like maybe to try some of them. They're 23 grams of protein a thing, and they look pretty easy peasy to use. What else is going on? I'm not gonna cut the video because I just want to get it all out there for you guys. I haven't drank. I've lowered my sugar. I'm not having sugar really, except what's in things. And even my doctor was like, shout out to Jessica Cakes for her. I asked for her opinion on Sweet and Low or Splenda and all that, and just like she said, my doctor was like, I really don't want you to. Because if you're going to have something, you just have regular sugar, which this is why we keep it 10 grams or less, because that's okay. We want it to be real sugar, as we're hitting that mark. So I'm going to lower my protein. I'm going to, which is crazy, keep my water the same, increase physical activity, and we're just going to keep going forward. I think it's interesting to go through this and go there. And it was nice because my nurse that I always see, she had bypass 2 years ago. So she's like, yeah, I find myself eating more. Oh, and that's what I was going to tell you too. I can eat more than I should be at this time. And he's like, well, how much can you eat? And I was like, I could eat a cup, if not more, if I pushed it. Granted, that's with more slidery foods. If it's with a dense protein, hard protein, then no, that's not gonna be the truth. But he's like, okay, because that's where in my program you want to be a year out. I should be at like half a cup right now to 3/4 of a cup. But then again, if I eat a dense protein, it's different. So it's so hard to find that because I don't know. And even dense protein, I had sausage. I had a sausage a couple days ago, like a Johnsonville sausage, which is perfect. Like that's a great amount, and a little bit of cauliflower, riced cauliflower, and that was fine. So I just have to find my medium too. So if things can continue to be an uphill battle, he was not opposed to some medicine intervention just to get me down to where I want to be weight-wise and then taper it, but I don't want to use medicine. This is my tool. I've taken phentermine before, and I lost a lot of weight with it, but it always came back. Granted, that's why this is here now. You know what I mean? So I don't believe I need to do phentermine again. I think I just need to continue on the path and keep on keeping on. So yeah, I think that's it. I do want to do a Q&A because I have had a lot of questions. If you want, I'll put it on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. Mitchell in Minnesota is my handle. If you have questions via email, send them to me, DM me, please, because I'm gonna do a Q&A video, and I'll put your name on there and all that jazz. I hope everybody's doing good in the cold. It is so cold here in Minnesota. We have, in the last 2 weeks, we've missed 5 days for cold. Negative 50-degree weather. We missed it on Friday because the wind chill is down to negative 35, negative 40. Next week, there's going to be another dumping in my home state, Washington State, too. They're having it right now, so it's just a crazy winter. It was a very mild fall and a mild beginning of winter, so I guess I can shut up now about, oh my gosh, there's no snow. Well, now I've been shoveling every day, and those wind drifts, those snow drifts are no joke. So please stay safe. Even in California, they're getting all sorts of crazy weather. So just be safe, take care of each other, and let's talk soon. Have a great day, guys.